dealing with older people, they're the last to know that things have changed. We not your little like the way you talking. I don't get what you mean. We're not your little like for real. All that big homie stuff, that's for little have big homies. We're not little. So we don't even respect big homies. I know Killer doesn't. And for me, I never respect in the streets. That's why I always got the problems I got. Niggas would tell me, Mase, chill. No, chill for what? Who is this? That's how I feel listening to this, man. Like, I want to respect you, but I can't. And I'm going to tell you why. Because if I got a little, like the dudes that raised me, if I was out of pocket, they would tell me I'm out of pocket. They wouldn't let me put them on a crash out mission. They would say, yo, Mase, listen. Around here, we don't send. You're dealing with older. This is where the game got messed.
Shouts out to my people. Shouts out to my people. Sending love, positivity, and good vibes to my people, man. I hope you guys are doing good today. I'm doing great today. We're touching up on the Shakur Stevenson and Cam beef. Basically, Shakur got in his feelings because Cam said on his podcast that his fight was boring, and Jay Prince came up and backed Shakur, saying the fight wasn't boring, which I like the fact that Jay Prince stepped in and voiced his opinion, having the young fighters back. I like that. But what I don't like is how, just in general, especially in our culture, we like to get into the street talk. And that's what it led to. Basically, Jay Prince got into the street talk saying we can take it there. Well, Mase replied back basically saying, you know, if you're 60 years old and you're still talking about streets, you failed. And I completely agree with Mase. I think that Mase and Cam are being real critical, and they're being smart. They're not out here trying to start beefs. They're just on their podcast speaking freely and speaking their thoughts. You know, Cam has the right to say, hey, if I think your fight is boring, it's boring. You know, that's his opinion. That doesn't mean that Shakur Stevenson has to get in his feelings, and that definitely doesn't mean Jay Prince has to take it to the streets. All said and done, Shakur, if you felt like your fight wasn't boring, go back to the drawing boards, get back in the ring, and show us. All this tough talk and we gonna take it to the streets and all that is irrelevant. What you gonna do in the ring? You're a professional boxer. So focus on how you can capitalize and how you can come back better in that ring, because we ain't trying to see no bloodshed. This reminds me of Takeoff. Takeoff lost his life in Houston. It was a sad situation, but I feel like Jay Prince, out of everybody, you know, his son was in that altercation, and I just think that, you know, we need to learn from situations like this. Off of Takeoff, who is nonchalant, laid back, you know, wouldn't hurt a fly. He lost his life off the street talk and the tough talk. So it's like, you know, you're still on that at 60 years old. You know, you can still have Shakur Stevenson's back. I don't see a problem with standing up for people and having their back. But once you start talking street talk, that's when you're taking it to a whole different level. These celebrities, athletes, and artists can't get in their feelings, especially on their podcast. That's their platform. You know, I have this platform, and I feel like I'm going to tell you guys the truth. I'm going to tell you guys the black, the white, the gray, because I want you guys to know I'm not going to come with no BS. So I feel like that is the reason why we watch Mase and Cam. We watch them because, you know, they're unapologetic, and they're going to tell you exactly how they feel. The main reason why I brought this story up, you know, I don't bring up a lot of stories, but I think that we could definitely learn from this story. And that is, we don't always have to take it there. We ain't always got to take it to the streets. We ain't always got to talk the tough guy talk. Sometimes we can just, you know, have difference of opinions and move along. Shakur Stevenson, like I said, just get back in the ring. Now you got more ammunition to prove people wrong. Cam and Mase, they're going to be on their podcast waiting. So if your next fight is boring, you're definitely going to hear about it. And Jay Prince, like I said, I completely Love the fact that the OG stepped in for the younger generation. But let's not forget, how these situations can escalate. One bad move, one wrong move, one wrong look can really take somebody up off this planet. So all that tough guy talk, hey, keep that stuff off the internet. I think it's our job to be truthful and honest. Just because they're being a little critical, I even said, I thought the fight was boring. That doesn't mean he's not a great fighter. It just means go back to the drawing boards, fix what you can fix, work on your pros, work on your cons, work on your strengths, work on your weaknesses, come back and show us really what we try to see. It's not just you. We're critical on all these people. We was critical on Devin Haney when he got knocked out. We critical on Deontay Wilder. We're critical on Ryan Garcia when he got punched by Tank and he just took that knee. We're critical on Errol Spence. Like, unless you are a part of the winning club, unless you are Terrence Crawford, Canelo, Tank, besides those group of people, it might be a few more, but everybody else is getting made fun of. That's a part of our culture. You basically got to have thick skin, and you can't let these little pokes and these little jabs. If you're as tough as you claim to be, I feel like that is the problem with this generation. Before we really listened and heard Mike Tyson talk, we saw his game. Muhammad Ali, he was always vocal, but until we really believed he was the best ever, we had to watch. We had to analyze, his work. And that's what we're doing. That's all we're doing, especially on these podcasts and these platforms. We're analyzing the work. And to me, you just got to sharpen your knives. You're still young. You got a winning record. You got a promising career. Don't take this and let this distract you from your greatness. And back on that Jay Prince situation, you are 60 years old, and it's time for you to be that OG. You don't got to speak, that mob boss, mafia. We don't respect that. We respect the people who putting in the work. We respect the people who putting in, that action. Me personally, I'm a little sick of seeing Jay Prince pop up every single time it's a beef or something's going. He reminds me almost like Soulja Boy. Anytime something happens, he tries to insert himself in, even though I like Soulja Boy, but that's a different story for a different day. But he's always inserting himself into these beefs because being an OG is de-escalating situations sometimes, a lot of the times. If you're antagonizing the situation and making things worse and pouring, gas on the fire, I don't think that is the OG's position. I think the OG's position is just, sit back, analyze the situation. The OG's position is hit them up in the DM. Like, move with a little bit more care instead of trying to go viral and trying to be seen and trying to talk that tough guy talk. So I love you guys. It's positivity, good vibes. Let me know what you guys think. Me personally, I'm sick of hearing the street talk and the tough talk. It's like, we don't have to take it there. We can have differences and we might not see eye to eye. That don't mean we got to bring out the guns or, fight or take it to the streets every time. So I love you guys. Peace. We out. I'll see you on the next one.